Welcome everybody to the Culture Shock Podcast. We're here with episode 3. I'm here with Steele Lamu, your boy
sir.
Pat Bayless, and today we got a special interview, I would call investment in a dope co-host. Her name is Taya. What's good,
Hi,
Taya? How
nice
you
to
doing?
meet you guys.
So Taya decided to join the Culture Shock Podcast, and I think it's a dope it's just a dope vibe that we're gonna have. I know that knowing Taya a little bit that I know of her, she brings a different energy, a different kind of mind to the game. And I think for
Yeah,
me,
all about
you
the
move.
vibes.
I think for me, you move is gonna be a step up, and even just our interviews and stuff like that. But this episode, we want to give the floor to Taya and really get to know her, and let the fans and everybody that watches really get to know her before we really get into it. So without further ado, Taya, appreciate you. Welcome.
Thank you. I'm so happy to be here.
So we could start off with just some right off the bat. Where you from, Taya?
I'm from Corm, Long Island.
Oh boy.
Oh, you
Right.
from Corn?
Yeah, I'm from Corm. I know.
So you went to Longwood?
Yeah, I did. I
Mm.
sure did.
What's up, Longwood?
You graduate?
I graduated in 2017.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I'm a baby.
You really is.
Yeah, bringing the youth here.
So what? So what
That's
has?
what's up.
So what has graduating that time period kind of being in the social media era? Because like me and him, we touched the social media era a little bit when it really
Yeah.
started. So how's it been like coming out of high school and into your adult life now? How has it kind of shaped it?
I think in my years that it completely changed how we all grew up because we all throughout junior high into high school, it's all social media. Instagram came out when I was in like 7th grade.
Mm-hmm.
So from then on, my whole high school
Dang.
experience was based around social media. That's when there was Snap and everything. That's when it 1st
Mhm.
came out. Everything was based on that.
Did it play a mental game with a lot of people that you knew and grew up with? Because you know social media can do great things, like push things and
Mhm.
have great energy, but there's a lot of negativity on social media. And you see a lot of these kids, and it's sad to say, but they get depressed because they see their friends are doing
Yeah.
this or doing that. Did that ever play a role in your life or any of your friends' lives that you seen?
Absolutely. I mean, definitely in my case, like the whole likes and everything. I
Mhm.
used to be big on like, damn, like I'm not getting that many likes. That's not hitting. Like,
Mhm.
and that shit really takes a toll on you when you're in, puberty, because mentally you're just not even right as it is. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, nah, that's tough.
Yeah.
We didn't grow up in that era, but I know when I first got social media, I kind of used it. I won't say in a negative way, but I shared all of my thoughts, and I
Mhm.
thought it was like, I guess popular or
Right.
in that moment.
Right.
I first got on Twitter like '09, so like.
Uh-huh.
That was when Twitter was popping.
Yeah, that shit was
Yeah,
popping.
during that
Yeah.
time, I used to be
Twitter was
able,
popping.
That ass.
used to get blocked by people, and that was kind of like a gold medal. Certain
Mhm.
people would respond and things like that
Crazy.
to that nature. But how talk about the transition from high school to now? Just kind of fast forward and run through some things that you've been through that kind of shaped you to where you are right now.
Social media wise,
Nah, just
in
experiences.
general,
Yeah, because
experiences.
high school is not that far away.
Yeah,
but I
it's
don't
not.
want to get
And
into
I'm
the last
not too
6
far
years, but
from.
you could skim through. You could fast forward
Yeah.
through 6 years real quick.
Well, I'll tell you what definitely shaped me coming out of high school. I was in a relationship. I was in like a long ass relationship. It's the worst thing you could do coming out of high school. You don't know who the fuck you are. So you fuck up and do stupid shit. So, leading out of that, I had mad different jobs, big girl jobs. Life pretty much fucking hit me like a bus.
Right.
Literally like a bus. It was like one thing after the other. Not going to school full time, working full time, just trying to balance everything. And then I got injured my first year of college. So I couldn't play sports that year, and then I couldn't work because I was
What
injured.
sport did you play?
I was playing basketball.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I was playing basketball first year at Suffolk, and got hurt. And that was like the most depressing time. Like it was terrible.
Right.
I couldn't work. I could barely go to school. Couldn't handle the classes and shit. Had to take a year off of school. Went back to see if I still wanted what I wanted to do what I was doing. Didn't want to do it. Got through that semester, and yeah, I mean, that pretty much leads me up to, like, the past recent years. I got a job at Free.
Right.
And it's pretty much it. I mean, that everything I kind of went through in that time period, went through a lot of crazy things, but I wouldn't change any of it for, like, the world because it made me the woman I am now. There's certain things that now I might be only 23,
Right.
but I'm not going to do certain things the same way another 23-year-old might.
Right.
I mean,
Not for sure.
Now you
Experience
model,
and
right?
everything.
yeah. No, I
You
model.
model
Kind
too.
of came into the mix. That
how
kind of saved
does
me in a
right?
degree.
How does that shape? How does that shape kind of the way you go about business? Have you, because of modeling and seeing all different shoots and different people you work with,
Yeah.
has it really transformed you into like this businesswoman where it becomes more about now I know what I really want, really what I'm going for? Because sometimes when you get out of high school, like you say, you don't know
Mhm.
yourself, and you kind of don't really know
Yeah.
where you're going. You know what I'm saying? You don't
Yeah.
really know how to interact necessarily in business
Right.
and stuff like that. So does modeling, the business aspect of it, has it transformed your mind and how you think and how you go get?
To a degree. I mean, I kind of got lucky. I went to school for law before.
Mm,
So, like, I always had, like, a business aspect to me. There's certain things that I'm really good at, which is, like, contracts and things of that sort. Like, you can't get one over on me. So, carrying that over, that professionalism over into modeling was kind of an easy transition. And I feel like modeling, it's taught me a lot more about how being social is important, being very outgoing and, being willing to take a risk, things of
Right.
that sort. That's what it really shaped me. Not necessarily like just business.
Okay.
Yeah.
How do you invest in yourself as far as modeling?
Whew.
Just name some things that you definitely have to do in order to remain booked and busy, and more importantly, to kind of give off what your shape, your figure, your personality, whatever it is that is getting you booked
Right.
repeatedly. Just talk about some of those things you got to do daily just to keep that up.
Well, one of the biggest investments going into modeling is 100% photo shoots. It's fucking annoying. They're expensive, but constantly updating your portfolio because that's the biggest thing. Social media is your biggest platform. That's going to be your biggest portfolio at all times. All big ass agencies look at your social media these days. So
Right.
constantly keeping up with that, making sure that you're presentable when you go to events, making sure you're paying to go to events. Because are you going to get in VIP every time for free? No. But you should make it happen so that you can meet the right people, talk to the right people. All it takes is for you to be at the right moment, the right time. You know what I mean? You got to carry yourself a certain way and keep up with that. It's kind of like, it's almost like creating an image. I hate to say it, but it's what it is. You know?
Now, talking about the law background, is that important for you to represent yourself as far as modeling, or do you have an agent or agency that represents you?
I would say if you're first starting, you're going to be freelance. You're probably more than likely, you're not going to be signed off rip. I am signed now, but I think learning the laws and learning about contracts and things about like that, it's
Right.
definitely helpful because when I'm reading my contract, there's no fine lines. There's nothing you can get over on me in a contract that I wouldn't have seen
Right.
later on. If it's an exclusive contract, I'm not signing it. So it's very important for me to be able to read it and comprehend what I'm reading to make sure that I'm not fucking myself over, especially percentage-wise.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? You
Ha-
easily sign your shit away. All rights.
How many people, like you said, you can't get anything over on you? How many times have you seen that where you're doing a shoot or somebody's trying to get over on you for X amount of hours or X amount of photos? Like, how many times do you see that happen?
More often than not, especially in your first like year or two, like when you really don't know much. That's why it's so important to ask questions. I got to know a lot of girls that are extremely large now and kind of like be under their wing to a degree and ask questions. That's so important. Ask questions because you could talk to a photographer and that photographer is trying to book you for 4 hours for 175, but books the next bitch for 4 hours for 300, and you don't even know.
Wow.
You don't even know, but you're doing the same thing.
Wow.
You know what I mean? You're putting, so you really have to ask questions. Whoever you're working with, ask if there's other girls that's going to be there, ask them at their rate so that you know you're getting paid right for your time, things like that. Because photographer, not all are like this, but there are those select few that are grimy like that. And so are some casting agencies. Tell girls all the time, be careful what casting agencies you sign up to because a lot of them, I've had one that they sent me a contract and in it, it's a casting agency, mind you.
Right.
They wanted it to be exclusive. So that's counterproductive. You're a casting agency. You're not a modeling agency. There's a big difference. You're just my connection to get jobs. You're just a middleman. So why would I be exclusive to just you when there's 30 over here that have a bigger brand name and could get me more? That doesn't make sense.
Stepping stone.
Exactly.
Right.
Exactly. That's what it should be, but it's not. And some girls don't even pay attention to that type of shit, and they just sign off because they're excited and they're new and they're ready to get into this and don't even realize what they're signing themselves away to.
Wow, that's crazy.
Yeah.
What's the end goal? If there is an end goal for modeling, where would you like to take it?
I want to take it pretty far. I mean, as a kid, I used to watch like America's Next Top Model. That was my thing. If I could get on Vogue, I could see myself going far with that. Or like doing runway shoots, shows for Savage X Fenty, like
That'd be fire.
trying to really take it there and then branch out from there into acting and things of that sort, more commercial work.
Do you have any
Yeah.
idols when it comes to either modeling or anything? Do you have any idols that you kind of looked up to and kind of help
I'm
shape
being
things?
honest.
Mm-hmm.
No.
None?
No.
That's fire.
Not
That's
at all.
fire. Some
There
people don't.
wasn't growing up, at least in my time, there wasn't a lot of like thicker models, and I always understood, even when I was like skinny and shit,
Mhm.
I always understood that I had a curve to myself. So like there was a certain way I was never gonna look just on genetics,
Right.
because it is what it is. So I never idolized any of those women because that's was never realistic to me.
So how many haters? This is a funny question, but how many haters is on your dick now?
Oh man,
I'm sure there's a lot of women that didn't
plenty.
like you
Plenty.
in that time, and now probably because I know that's I kind of see
Yeah.
that with women. They all
You like
oh
me
my
back
God.
then, now I'm up a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah, I counted that a lot. I counted it for men and women. I mean,
Mhm.
it's kind of a normal thing. And then there's people that I helped come up a little bit,
Mhm.
and then now they hate me for one reason or
Well, I
another.
do think externally, women kind of blossom. I wouldn't even say at 23, but definitely in that 27 to like 30
Right.
range.
Yeah,
To me, is when you see like
absolutely.
the best of a woman. So I feel like it's a continuous process. So
Yeah,
it's
absolutely.
always gonna
Constantly
change.
changing.
Yeah, so that's one thing that's beautiful
Mhm.
about females. For us, it's different once we hit like 30.
Yeah, that's it.
That's
Yeah,
The
like
locked
knees
in.
start going, the
Knee.
belly start happening,
like,
and
2 more years after
yeah,
that. Then
no.
it start to feel like 38 type shit.
Yeah.
yeah.
Nah, it's beautiful though to even understand that those things are gonna happen or they may occur.
Mhm.
Is it important for you to keep or remain whatever size that you feel comfortable or whatever size is in demand as far as your booking and your money situation?
That's a good question. If you were to ask me that same question a year ago, I would say to keep up with bookings. Now I'd say it's whatever I'm comfortable in. I'm no longer on a weight loss journey to look better for photos. I'm doing it for my health and for my well-being as a woman, knowing that, I might have a child at some point. So I want to take care of myself in that regard. It's no longer about just like bookings and shit anymore, because truthfully, those standards are near impossible unless I plan on getting a BBL or just being mad skinny. You know what I
Right.
mean? Not a lot of thicker girls in that, realm.
Right, especially with today's image, and I think that's why it's
Absolutely.
important for us to expand and bring you on the podcast as well. I think
For real.
to have a female perspective, but also from a female perspective that is wanted in the sense of social media and just the different things that you could bring and attract. I think it's good to also recognize that and monetize that
Right.
yourself as well. So, I think it's always good to kind of have that insight and not look at it like, oh, nah, nobody likes me or
I
nobody.
was
you know
gonna
what
say,
I'm
and the
saying?
fact that
Mhm.
she's comfortable in her skin, right?
Yeah.
So
I'm
people
very
that
comfortable in
there's a
my
lot of
skin.
women that they're beautiful, whatever
Mhm.
the case may be, but you get to know them, they just all over the place. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? They're like, you would think that, man, you got the best
Not
life, or
everything that
you
glitters is
and
gold.
yeah,
type
exactly. So
shit.
the fact that you're comfortable in your skin, it just makes it that much better to then have conversations, whether it be with male or female, and be able to really give them insight. It's
Yeah.
not, you're not just preaching the bullshit that we see on social
Yeah,
media, right?
absolutely,
There's
absolutely.
a lot of bullshit that we see on social media. Let's just be honest.
A lot of hypocrisy.
Yeah,
100%.
so many.
100%.
And there's a lot of things that cheating and all this other stuff that is made to be cool. You know what I'm
Mhm.
saying? And
Normalizing all of that crap.
normalizing. So I think that too, the fact that you have your head on your shoulders and you have just been through things, is key and it's important. Because
absolutely.
sometimes people will be like, all right, I just see a pretty face on a woman, and
I get that all
and
the time. People are always like, "Oh, you're
Yeah.
not what I thought you would be." I'm like, I know, right? It's an
Yeah.
image. That's what it is.
And I feel like that's kind of disrespectful to women too
Yeah.
sometimes, because
they always
know, it's
expect me to
just-
be
yeah.
ditzy, and they're always like, "Oh, I thought
Mhm.
you were like a typical IG bet." No,
Right.
you should always ask those questions. That's
Right.
not me.
Right.
No, that's very
Unfortunately,
true.
I have to have an image.
Has your favorite shoot been your highest paid?
My
All right, talk
favorite
about
shoot.
your favorite shoot.
Damn, that's a good question. My favorite shoot was actually a collab, and I did it with, his name was Howie. How We Do It. Shout out to you because you're a great photographer. I did it with him recently for New Year's. It was this all silver thing, and I actually paid him.
Okay.
So even where I'm at now, I still pay some photographers for, to keep up my portfolio. And he gave me great work, and he always gives me great work. So, yeah.
That's
my
what's up.
favorite one.
Was your New Year's shoot out here in New York?
Yeah, it was in the city. Most of my shoots are out. All of my shoots are out in the city somewhere.
Okay, is that still like the Mecca, or is that still like the home of modeling and fashion?
Yeah,
and
the unfortunate thing is, you really want to get booked, you really want to make good money, you're going to have to take that 2-hour drive out to the city. Whatever day of the week, whatever time it is. Doesn't matter if you work that morning.
Right.
You got to get there.
Right.
Make it happen.
I mean, at least you're here. It's not too far.
Yeah,
I'm sure
this is
there's
far.
other-
This was light.
At least you're not getting on a plane and shit like
Yeah.
that, because that.
I just
that
had to
in
do that
itself.
shit recently. And that
Where'd
shit
you go?
was, I went to Atlanta for the day to shoot for a brand.
Really?
Yeah.
That sounds fun though.
It was mad fun.
They
It
paid
was
for
a very
everything?
flight,
fire.
everything. Got paid for it too. It was a very amazing moment to say
Mhm.
the least. Very fulfilling.
Was it a lot of work?
Oh yeah, I was shooting for as soon as I got off the plane, 7 hours straight, 10-minute break once.
Wow.
Every outfit heels, everything in heels,
Nah.
and I shot in 35 outfits.
What?
Yeah, 35.
35 outfits?
And I literally
With that
made my
working.
plane. I literally made my plane late. I think 5 minutes after boarding started, 5 or 10 minutes.
That's what's
Wow.
up. You spend that working everywhere.
Oh,
You ain't
dude.
rest till you got on the plane.
That's the goal.
Do you just model clothes? What do you model? You do new modeling?
I have done nude modeling. Yes, I absolutely have. I would rather, if I do it, I prefer artistic. Now you look at my page and you're like, artistic, but I would prefer doing it artistic than anything
What do you mean,
else.
like body paint or something? of that
Yeah,
nature?
like something of that regard.
How
Would be
long
more
does that
interesting.
take for someone to paint your body?
Well, I actually did a shoot where it wasn't necessarily body painting. It was I was pretty much doing a shoot to paint a message, and it was a picture of me. It's 4 different pictures of me, and they had to draw words on me, and it was fat, ill, just different things
Okay.
the surgical lines and shit, and that alone took 4.5, maybe 5 hours, just about 4 hours, I'd say, with not only me writing on myself, 2 other people writing on me as well. I
That's a
almost
lot.
passed out standing up for so
I would
long.
too, Yeah.
Yeah, it was OD. So I can't even imagine full body.
Did you do that as a equality? Hate kind of thing?
I was
What's
kind
that
of just
about?
trying to make a point by utilizing my platform like that, because at the time I was getting a lot of rejection in the industry because of my size and
Right.
things of that sort. And I kind of just wanted to make a point. And I feel like from then on, after I posted that, a lot of work came my way. And I feel like I kind of did make my point that you might tell me no now, but I guarantee you'll be working with me in a year. And a lot of them actually do work with me now, funny
Wow, that's
enough.
what's up.
So, yeah, it's kind of just to make a message that I had I didn't have all just bad words. I also had blessed and sexy, thick on my body.
Right.
Just the things that I have to hear in this industry all the time.
Empowering.
Yeah.
Did
Now,
Yeah.
sorry, Pat. One
Okay.
more question. When you look at social media and you think about things that you put up or shouldn't put up, or how do you decipher what you put on social media, even though you are open to doing anything as far
Yeah.
on the spectrum as a nude photo shoot? Even though that doesn't mean anything as far as your personality, but as far as
Yeah.
what you want to put out externally, how do you decide
So
what goes on your social
the
media?
unfortunate thing about it is Instagram's algorithm hates me, so I get shadow banned once a week, maybe twice a
Really?
week. I have a business profile, so if you go on there and you go to a certain point in the settings, it literally will tell you what they recommend you taking down. So it doesn't matter how much likes that post got, whatever it was. I might have thought that shit was fire, but it's got to get off my page
Right.
because it's not, it's not pushing.
It's
Because
inappropriate.
yeah, right now, reels do well for me because I guess those are the most, appropriate to them or whatever, the sounds that I use or whatever. But yeah, Instagram will let you know if you check that thing.
Mhm.
Nah, you should probably take this down. You could lose your page.
Really?
Yeah,
Wow.
yeah.
even
I
know that.
literally have to check my
Yeah.
business insights every day for those types of things.
That's what's up. You get a lot of traffic. Your numbers is different than mine.
what's
Yeah.
some things, because I know that these people that shoot you sometimes, they got to be doing some bold. They got to be bold sometimes. Have you
Of
ever
course, of
encountered
course.
something of the sort of somebody being bold as hell after, whether it's during the shoot, after the shoot, before the
Through
shoot?
text, I would say more so. I've had a photographer. I will not name names.
Yeah.
But I have a photographer that will actively not shoot with me because I would not sleep with them.
Wow.
Yeah. And pretty much
Don't
gave
shock
me
me.
the.
No, I'm saying wow.
He was like, I'm
Right.
such a good photographer. Why else would I want to work with you? Back then, like, if he said that to me now, I'd be like, that's a joke because I have more followers than you. But
Right.
back then, he had more. So I was just like, I mean, I guess you're right. Why wouldn't you want to work with me? You know what I
Right.
mean? Yeah, and he will not work with me because I will not sleep with him.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's
I've heard a
gotta
lot of
happen
girls' stories of where that's something that this is something that new models should pay attention to, be aware of and be safe, because I've heard stories of girls where photographers are taking them into the woods and shoot, and you know what I mean, and trying to advance at them,
Wow.
and then denying it, even though one of them might have accidentally been recording. You know what I mean?
Wow.
It was actually in the news that there was this guy. He was claiming to be a photographer and a casting agency, and he was flying girls out to, I think, California or Miami, something of the sort, and he was raping them. Those are the things you really, because they'll make you sound nice. They'll be like, oh, I can connect you with this person, this person, this person, and I'll fly you out, and you think it's legit because they're flying you out.
Right.
Eh,
And it looks like
you
they
know
got
what I
money
mean?
on their page or whatever it
Yeah.
may be, whatever they could present.
Yeah.
Which is a lot of social media. A lot of people present this game.
A lot of these casting
Yeah.
agencies that people might not know of, I might not even know of, they will traffic you, and you need to be paying attention to that shit. That's why it's important to read those contracts. And it's an unfortunate thing, but it's what it is in society that we live in.
Be safe out there.
Mhm.
Yeah, definitely for
That
the
ass.
ladies. Yeah, that's
Hell yeah.
human trafficking. All of that it's insane. And I
Yeah.
can't. The modeling agency, I can only imagine. I always think I
Yeah.
always think of that, like, these people that be shooting these girls. There's no way that some of them ain't saying something.
Some
or
of them
trying
definitely
something,
are. A
'cause
lot of them are very respectful. I have a
That's
lot
good.
of photographers that I'm very close with. On like we call each other and check on each other type shit, and they're just really good people. They're very professional. But then there's those few,
right.
just the few that aren't
Step
that.
out of line.
And 9 times out of 10, you'll know who they are because they kind of like all hang out together in
Mhm.
the industry. A
Right.
lot of girls that would see this would know exactly who I'm talking about.
Right.
So yeah.
Now, would you consider yourself? Now, you do modeling, you do all of this. Do you consider yourself somebody that's super outgoing, or do you kind of stay in the background? And just in life, like, period.
I
do you
feel
stay in the
like
background?
I'm more outgoing in modeling than like outside
Every
of
day?
modeling. Yeah. Like I'm a very adventurous person, don't get me wrong. I love
Mhm.
spontaneous shit, love doing crazy shit, but I really have to be in the mood for that shit.
Right.
Which most of the time I'm not, cuz I work a 9 to 5, you know what I mean?
Right.
So like modeling really pushes me to get out of my comfort zone and be like, all right, well, what do you have to lose? Just do whatever it is that you want to do. Just do it.
Mhm.
It doesn't matter how it feels. Get it done. You know what I mean? It gives me a lot of discipline as well, and gives me a lot of motivation too, because I see my work progressively getting better. And
Right.
It just makes me want to keep up with it.
Now, comfort zone is a great word. What would you say for these women and even men? When a lot of us are always comfortable, we like to stay stagnant. That's just human nature. What
Right.
would you say to these people that are stagnant? What would you say about stepping out of that comfort zone? Like you said, it pushed you, but what else did it change? Like you say, you're outgoing, but did it change other things, like being out of your comfort zone? Like, was the anxiety that happened? How was it like when it first started, being just in a different environment than you used to when you just chilling?
When I first started, I had like a boyfriend, so I would bring him to like everything with me to try to feel comfortable. I would purposely bring extra friends, which honestly, the worst thing you do is A, bring your boyfriend, whatever, your man, whatever, to a shoot, and then B, bring a friend to a shoot.
Yeah,
Now,
don't do that. Don't
Right.
bring your
You
boyfriend.
shouldn't do that without asking first. I usually will bring like another photographer or something of the sort. I'll be like, oh, like, is it cool if I bring an extra person to make them aware? And then if it's not, then we work that out in conversation. But you shouldn't cling to that because you're not always going to have somebody there. In real, like, if this was a Vogue shoot, they're not having
No.
you bring your friend.
No.
You know what I mean? That's not a thing.
Mhm.
So you kind of just have to train your brain to see it from a realistic sense, not as, because that comes from you trying to make yourself comfortable.
Right.
And that's the worst thing you could do in life in general.
Well, even just safety, I don't think that should be the only concern. I
Yeah.
also think that right now you should. If I had a daughter and she was in your situation, I would tell her every time she shoots with a male, she should bring a friend
Absolutely. I hear it all
Right.
the time.
or
I
text
mean,
somebody your address.
you
or-
definitely should. Exactly. That's what I was
location
going to
or
get
something
to
of that
next.
nature.
Whenever I go to these shoots, if I am on the off chance that I'm by myself going to a shoot,
Right.
9 times out of 10, my friends, I'm sharing my location with them indefinitely the whole night. I'm calling to check in, or they're calling to check in with me throughout the entire time.
Mm-hmm.
And a photographer can't tell me I can't stop to, you know what I mean? So there's that to it. I'll FaceTime people throughout. I don't walk to my car if I'm not with somebody unless I'm on the phone at all times.
Okay.
You know what I mean? I carry things with me. And I hate to say it, but it's the time we live in.
No, yeah.
I carry things with me. I keep whatever I have to keep with me.
Mm-hmm.
And also, don't look like a fucking tourist wherever you're going. I don't care if you don't know any street on that block. Act like you know where you're going, because they're gonna. If something were to happen, it's because you look vulnerable, and you are vulnerable. You never let yourself be. It's like, as the saying goes, stay ready so you don't have to get ready.
Okay.
That's a great
You know what I
word.
mean?
That's a
You
clip.
watch
You know what I'm
State
saying?
Proper. That's a clip right
It's just
there.
what it is.
That's
She
a
grew up
clip
watching
right
State
there.
It's really what it
Word.
is, because you never know in this day and age. You never know.
She was watching
You know what I mean?
SVU.
It's the world we live in, bro.
Nah,
As a
that's true.
female, you kind of just got to keep yourself prepared. It sucks, but like, what can you do?
Yeah.
You're either gonna do this
That's-
shit or not. You really got to see it as what's the worst that could happen.
Very true.
Yeah.
How do you look at these posts that girls do all the time that are from like Adore Me and blah blah blah, and it's like paid partnership? Are those real, or girls just like buy things from their website and just post that shit?
It really depends. Like I just did one for Wife Me Collective. They sent me that. I didn't pay for it. They reached out. They didn't pay me. They just reached out. We collabed, and that was their. You know what I mean? So it really depends. I mean, some of the girls are getting paid, and some of them are doing that to get themselves on the page. Because you can do that as well. You can submit on like Fashion Nova or whatever, and if you have enough followers and they deem you worthy, that kind of gives you clout as opposed to pay. If that makes sense.
Yeah, I always wonder because I see that pretty often, even with just like regular girls that have like 2,000 followers, and it's like
9 times out of 10, if they have, realistically speaking, 9 times out of 10, if they're under like 5-6K, they didn't get paid for that. They did not get paid for that. That was something that they submitted onto the website, or whatever, and Fashion Nova or whatever it was, just so happened to like their post enough and then repost it.
which is still
You know
a
what I
good
mean?
look.
Exactly.
But
So
yeah, I always
that's kind of how you
wonder, like,
decipher those too.
All right, cool. You got any of those partnership shoots coming up?
Oh, not yet. I mean, I just did like I said, I got flown out for the brand, and then I just did a fashion show for Underground Advocates. I just did that the other day for these 2 small brands, and they want to work with me outside of that. So maybe I'll have some work from that and another designer in there. So they should be making me some custom things, and that would be probably my next thing coming up, if anything.
Nah, I think that would be dope.
Yeah.
I think that would be really dope. I know you got a lot of cool ideas, like, with Culture Shock expanding the way we are, and
Absolutely.
the brand and the clothing line and everything that's going to be coming soon. Just kind of give some of these ladies the ideas in your head of some ideas that we're going to put out for them.
Well, for starters, getting some feminine energy up in here.
Yeah, that's a fact.
All the time, you know what I mean? Standing up for the girls, sticking together. As far as the clothes go, definitely looking into more flattering things for women other than just the typical sweatshirt, sweatpant. You know what I mean? Because some girls like the sweatsuit vibe, but they want it more fitting because that's more flattering to their shape or whatever the case might be. So looking into more of that. And more feminine topics because, you want to expand your audience. They got to be a part of the audience.
Absolutely.
You got to draw attention to them too.
Absolutely.
Now, that's what's up. What do you think that you bring to the table? Some characteristics, personality traits. Nothing external. We could see.
I think my humor meshes well with you guys. Even though I'm a female, it's not many females that are actually funny, so I'm sure it'll be a breath of fresh air.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
And extremely intelligent. You don't got a ditzy broad up here. And no offense to anybody that might take offense to that, but you know what I mean. You know what I mean? I'm very intelligent. I think I will represent women in a more intelligent sense as opposed to just a female with a mic.
And that's huge.
Yeah.
And you was telling me that you know a little bit about sports, so that is even more of a extra thing.
Yeah,
especially with some of the some of the
Play
people
too.
that have been able to
Give them something to look at during the
Right. Just especially
If I wanted to take Tay on a date, don't tell me anything I have to do, but just tell me some of the things that you like to do, what kind of food you like to eat, where you like to go.
And has anybody ever made you pay on a first date? I need to know that as well.
What do I like to do? I love museums, anything with art. I love going out to eat. I'm a female, so of course I love to eat. What else? I like movies, but not really for like a first date. Maybe like afterwards, because I want to be able to talk to you, get to know you. So places like Dave and Buster's, bowling, where we can chill, whatever, talk, go to a dinner, things like that. It's kind of the vibe. I also like going to like parks, so we can go to a beach, have a picnic, some calm, or even have dinner in. Yeah.
The calm days.
I think that's the best. That's especially like the first time. That's the best way to get to know somebody.
Yeah,
Right.
absolutely.
Is just spend time with them.
Yeah.
It's hard to. I guess it's really hard to gauge how somebody is, even just a little bit when you're doing a lot of activity for the first time. So
especially if you're at like a movie, you ain't talk for 2 hours.
What's
Just sit
the
next to each
worst
other.
date you ever been on?
Whew.
Come on, give me a
The
story.
worst date.
Give me something good. I know there's something super embarrassing. You don't gotta name no names, but
It goes into
I
that
need to
pay
know.
shit. We went. They took me to the
paper.
billiards out in Selden
Okay.
and to play pool. And
On
you
the
know,
first date?
I know, right? I was like, oh, this is a calm, I guess. And then fucking we get there, and we, he's getting drinks and he's playing. And then the guy comes to like give us like the check for the night or whatever. He got food. He got like 4 or 5 drinks, and I was like, "Oh, here." And he was like, "I'm paying." And I was,
what?
I was like, "What do you mean?
Wow.
Are you paying?" He was like, "The thing is, I forgot my wallet at home." I said, "Then why did you get all that stuff?" He's like, "I just assumed because we've been talking for so long. Like, mind you, we'd only been talking for like 2-3 weeks. How long is that?"
Wow.
Nah,
You know
that's
what I'm
crazy.
saying?
That's crazy.
He was like,
Did
"I
he pay
would."
for it?
No, I didn't pay for it. I left.
Wow.
He was washing
I was like, I'm gonna be right back. I'm gonna go get my wallet from the car, and I left.
wow.
And yeah, I don't know what happens. I haven't seen him since.
You know, she called her
But-
friend and was like, bitch.
I did. And my friend Rachel at the
She
time.
said, I will see him
I
since.
left. I was like, I gotta go
Wow.
get my wallet out the car, and acted like I was tight that I had to go get my wallet from the car and skated, bro. I got
Nah, that's
I went
crazy.
home. That's what I did.
Nah, that's kind of weak
Wow.
though. So
Cause
he
like
definitely paid for it.
that's OD. You're not gonna violate me like that. Now you stuck there. It's called
That's disrespectful. I
consequences.
feel like every time you invite a female out, you should pay for it.
Absolutely, because at the end of the day, did I come ask you? Now, if I came and asked you to go out, that's a different story. Then
Right.
I probably I should pay because I
Right.
asked you. I'm asking for your time.
Mm-hmm.
But if you came and asked me, and this is all you're doing,
Especially
You
the first
need to be
date,
paying
it's
for it.
just- I
Right.
mean, dating, you know, right? It's, when you first meet
As a
somebody,
man?
especially as a man.
as
yeah,
a man,
it should be, I got it.
Come
You know
on.
what
Man,
I'm saying?
especially if you're willing to pay and you understand, like if I initiate or if I tell you
Yeah.
to do this, or even if you pay for everything all night and I just want to pay for the tip or buy us ice cream,
yeah,
that's just something that's voluntarily. So
yeah.
I do think for sure.
And we could have
Sunshine-
conversed about it before. I'm not no
Right.
dumb ass
Son
bitch.
shoulda
You know what I'm
definitely
saying?
paid.
So you ain't have it. You could have said that, and
Right.
then it was the fact that you ain't
Did you
prepared
beat
me
him
for
at
that.
least
Like,
in
you know what I'm
pool?
saying?
Did you at least beat him?
No, I'm trash.
She
Oh,
got cooked.
shit. And you got
I'm
cooked?
appalled. You know what though? Now one of y'all seeing me on the court. That's what it is. That's what it is.
How much your
I
That's what
ass?
it comes down
I
to.
almost told
But-
my
I
ACL
don't even want to
today,
hear
but
it.
that's
I
fine.
don't even want to hear
I
it.
don't even
At
talk
the end of
about
the
it.
day,
Got an NBA hat on now. You think you
Come
an
on,
NBA player?
Big time. You
your
know me.
fa-
You know me,
Hold
bro.
on.
Word.
Your favorite, I guess like kind of sort of date would be something that you could be a little active, like a Dave and Buster's, or
Yeah, those
Some
are
shit
mad
like that.
fun. Cause I want to see how fun you are. I'm gonna
Right.
know if I'm a fun ass bitch. So like, if you just sitting there while we eating Dave and Buster's, I'm like, yo, what's good with you? You know, trying to have fun, make jokes, laugh around.
You say you're spontaneous, so most spontaneous date you ever had with somebody?
That's a good question.
That means nothing.
Yeah, pretty much. Like, cause nobody.
Wow.
I don't know. I don't really.
have you
Yeah.
ever been like asked out by a couple?
I think. Yeah, I have.
By a couple?
Okay.
I have.
Word?
Let's go.
Yeah, at a club.
Really?
Yeah,
Really?
but that was a no for me because they were middle aged and
Oh, wow.
you know what I'm saying. It wasn't looking right.
Wow.
You know what I'm saying.
They were
That's
middle
crazy.
aged.
I think they was just trying to fulfill a fantasy.
That's
you know what I'm
probably
saying?
exactly
You know what I'm
what it
saying?
was.
Like they saw
That's
me. you know,
probably exactly what it
just
was.
trying to, they was probably asking mad other girls in the club.
Mhm.
You know what I'm saying? They was just trying to fulfill a fantasy.
Nah, I think that's the purpose of asking you or going to the club to find a
Yeah.
young, beautiful joint to bring home.
Oh yeah, but what if I was off my rocker? What if I was a lunatic?
Yeah, for sure.
I could have robbed both
For
of them.
sure.
Like, come on.
Yeah, nah.
You gotta be smarter
That's
than
for
that in
sure.
this day and age.
You ever
Yeah,
been
you
giddy
from
off
Cole.
somebody, like really into somebody, and then you get around them, or and they just make you feel awkward? Like,
Yeah,
conversation
there
was
was this
straight.
guy like I think it was like 3 years ago I was talking
Mhm.
to, and like on FaceTime, it was fire. Like
Yeah.
talking to him over the phone, texting, gas pack, he was lit. And then the first time we hung out, it was just silence. He was like,
Really?
how are you?
They safe behind
That
that
was
phone.
it.
That's what
I
it
was
is.
like, damn, what happened? Where did the
He was
chemistry
nervous.
Yeah.
go? Yeah.
A lot of people nowadays safe behind the phone. You get in front of them and they completely different. Shy.
Yeah.
Everything is just different than what it is texting. Because people ain't scared to say what they need to say texting.
Yeah, of
And
course.
then,
They
you
all
know,
comfortable.
Yeah, and people will just say violence.
Yeah, I was gonna say you have, if I'm correct, like 18,000 followers. So I know you.
Oh, it's like
DMs.
15, but
Oh,
thank you
15,
for
my
the
bad.
extra 3K.
Take the
I
3K.
know-
Right, I'll take the
3K.
3K.
Word.
I know your DMs be wild. Do you decipher them or you just kind of let them build up?
I have to separate them because if I
Okay.
don't, then I miss a lot of things. So my personal messages, that is like crap. I have them in my primary, and then in
crap?
and then in my general is where I keep anything business related, whether it's
Okay.
for music videos, clothing brands, whatever it is. Business is always in separate area, and then I have my message requests and everything, and
Them
No.
shit's got to be crazy. I ain't
yeah,
gonna lie.
always. I've heard some
It's
crazy
probably
things
just
like.
meat pictures and half of them shit.
Nah, I don't
Sugar
get that
daddies.
many. It's just
That's-
guys are. It's amazing how many men out there are actually still poets, bro. Because the way they get in my DMs and say like crazy things, I'm
Yeah.
just like, wow, you really put some thought behind that.
Mhm.
What you think, men can be poetic or something?
I think if
Nowadays, I don't think
these
that.
days, especially my generation, understand that I am a younger
Yeah.
generation, they are not.
Right.
'Cause
Yeah, I
it's-
guess like around
it's
your
almost
age
like
group.
being in love
Yeah.
is almost like embarrassing.
Yeah.
Because simps,
But I don't get that.
you know what I'm saying?
I don't get that.
Yeah.
Still
Well,
young.
it's just because that's trendy right now.
It is. It is
Uh-huh.
trendy. It
My
is.
that's
generation
how it
loves the
was
trends.
When we was young too, like, dang, you got a girlfriend? That's crazy.
Yeah, but I feel like it's a little different now. It's like, where your bitches at?
Yeah,
You
that's
gotta
how
go
it
where the
was growing
bitches
up,
at.
like,
You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
for,
Like,
for a man, it's something, especially if you got an ego. You
I
know,
ain't say that in a minute.
Mhm.
That's kind of
Yeah.
crazy.
yeah,
like you would feel good like that if you had an ego. If you were just not confident in
Yeah.
yourself. If somebody's like, yeah, you got mad bitches, motherfucker, be hype.
yeah. That's really what it is
But
now.
I feel like nowadays the way men speak to women, it just makes people that could really speak to women.
Yeah.
It makes it easy as hell. You talk to them a little bit, they're like, "Oh, you different."
Yeah.
Like that was
The
nothing.
difference
We
is you
talking
gotta
about
find.
nothing.
It's
We
not
talking about
real
regular
difference.
shit.
You gotta find an actual man to if
Right.
you're looking for if you're looking for a man, you gotta find a man. You
Yeah.
can't expect a man out of a child.
Yeah, they
So
ain't
if you
gonna be
knew
in
he
the
had
club
those
and shit.
characteristics beforehand, that's probably just who he is. He's not a man.
Right.
So
No, for sure.
Okay.
Now, tell you when you think about for our brand, when you think about the word culture, what comes to mind? Like the first thing you think about when you hear that word culture. Everybody kind of has a different view of it, so I would love to get to know your view.
I see it as the basis behind it and the premise behind it is inclusivity. So you're creating a culture with amongst mad cultures
Mhm.
of different avenues of different topics, if that
Mhm.
makes sense. Like you did the nursing thing, and then you also have like sports, and now we're gonna get into more women related things,
Mhm.
like creating a culture within all of these cultures.
That's a great
Mhm.
answer.
Yeah.
I like that. I never thought about that perspective of kind of like keeping. I don't want to say like exclusive, but like
Mhm.
one itself.
Yeah. A lot of podcasts do that.
That's,
They have one lane and they stay there.
Yes, and that's
Comfortably.
the box. That's why I
And that's where the
always say that.
comfortability becomes a
Right.
problem because you just stay in that one.
Right.
Whereas if you touch all these things, you're bound to hit somewhere.
Right. And what I've heard too, just personally, what I've heard from outside people, is some people like, why don't you just stick with this or stick with that? And I'm
Right.
like, I'm not trying to be in a box. That
Yeah,
box,
I'm the same way with my modeling.
it gets old. If we
Right.
stick to one thing, if we're doing one thing, it's just gonna get bland. We're gonna be
Yeah,
keep saying the
absolutely.
same shit. So I think it's important to touch every avenue, to touch
Exactly. Learn a
all
lot.
groups of just different things that go on in
Mhm.
life and in culture.
Yeah.
So people that want to stay with that relationship shit, yeah, it's cool. But we're gonna keep listening to you
Right.
every time you put a little snippet up. Oh,
Right.
we just heard you say that a month ago. You
Right.
know what I'm saying? And those podcasts, I feel like don't last.
Yeah, that's very true. And I feel like the audience will appreciate that because
Right.
now it's creating a culture within the audience because now you're bringing them together because they all have something they can go watch.
And think about the clothing
Right.
line itself, the inspiration that we
Right.
got coming out with so many things that people are gonna see, and I hope they love. It's just gonna be, so much is gonna be from the episode. So there's so
Right.
many different looks and ideas we could put out, and it's just gonna be fire. I'm
Yeah.
super excited.
Yeah, you gonna be
too.
our in-house model. I have my
Yes,
son
I
Big.
will be the face.
Ross Graphics, shoot your booty.
Yes, shout out Raz Graphics for sure.
So that's kind of fire though.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But
I'm
I
sure
definitely appreciate the female presence, but appreciate your personality.
right.
Thank you. Thank you.
I would say even to the different lanes and people that you could touch, and even just some of the people that we know with just speaking and having Ish on the podcast, and I'm sure
Right.
we could figure out some things for you as well
Yeah.
with some people that Pat and I know. So
Yep.
I think it'll be great.
Right.
Even in a partnership once we start doing business together and all that stuff. So I appreciate you
Yeah.
and your time, and I
Absolutely.
will appreciate you and your time all the time.
Yep.
And I can't wait
Thank you.
to
Thank
do
you.
more
Excited
episodes
to be a part of this.
and podcasts and whatever else we got in store
Mm-hmm.
Right.
to do. There's only one other thing that you kind of have to do as we start to grow. I like to do community service.
Okay.
So you have,
That's
I don't know
valid to
what it'll
me.
be, but like a back to school book bag drive or
Absolutely.
that's
some
cute.
of those things.
Me and my
that I
friend was
do,
actually
so.
talking about trying to go back to Longwood and host a basketball game.
That'd be dope.
She makes a lot of money.
Like,
and
move.
Fuck that shit.
have a little prize for the kids.
Nah. I ain't gonna say that because I do appreciate all levels of doing things for children because they're always innocent. So that's fine.
Yeah, but adults too. Thinking too, cash prize.
That'd be dope.
Yeah.
If you go, I mean, if you go host it, you get enough people traction behind it. It's
Yeah, it could be fire.
always, that's always
Yeah,
It'd be really
You-
fire.
that's true though. But
Especially for a cash prize. Come on.
just think of it like I do like back to school book bag drives,
Yeah.
sock drives, hat drives, all kinds of things of that nature, and just give back all year round as much as I
Right.
can. So
That's fire.
you know,
I
definitely
could
be
do
a
a lot
part
of things for
putting-
women as well.
because
in
if we
that
got the
regard.
community behind, if we got the
Word.
community behind us,
Yeah.
you know, whether it has to do with us or not, the fact that we could give back the money, you know, as much as we
Yeah,
can
absolutely.
do it, is super important.
Right.
You know, and
That's very
I know
true.
I know that you're a person that I could tell wants to give back and wants to do things for people.
Mhm.
You know what I'm saying?
Always.
So I think that's really important. But yeah, this is the crew right here. We gonna do
Yeah, we rocking
special
out. We
things.
locked in.
What
And-
color are your eyes?
They are brown. They're dark brown.
Just looking. a
Ain't
little
got eyes
freaky
like me.
right
You know
now.
what I'm saying?
Because of
That
the
hazel
light.
shit.
Oh, no, I'm about to say that shit throwing me off. I was like, what the fuck?
She got the
I know they
doodle
look
brown
fire,
shit.
right?
That ass.
That shit was throwing me off for a
Mhm.
second. I thought it
Because
was
of
that
the
color.
light.
You had to
I was
ask
looking
it,
like,
too.
wait, what
No.
happened to our eyes?
Man.
Nah, but for real, Tay, we really appreciate you and we excited to
Man,
get
I'm
this
happy to be here.
off the ground, this aspect of it, and
Newest addition to the
You know,
podcast,
exactly.
baby.
Yeah.
this is
Let's
Culture
go.
Shock, y'all.
Yeah.
We out.
That bitch Ben was coughing. So
Yo, son.